Okay. It looks like we are live. How is everyone today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jason Levine, and for today's live stream, we're going to be talking about how to add animated titles to your video with Premiere and Adobe Stock. So many of you who've used these before in Adobe Stock, we call these motion graphics templates, also known as MOGRTs. And of course, all the time we're updating these. So this is one of the great things with Adobe Stock being built in directly to Premiere and accessible in many of the CC apps is that we're always adding new content to it. So if you haven't gone there in a while, if you're struggling to do, whether it's anything from just a very simple intro animated title sequence, maybe it's some lower thirds for your vlogs or YouTube videos. Maybe it's just animated transitional elements. We have thousands, tens of thousands of them available inside of Adobe Stock, and really amazing free ones. So I'm going to show you how to access them, how to bring them directly into your productions, and then just how to start working with them, and show you a couple of cool little things along the way. Because of course, many of those can be created directly in Premiere, or they can also be created directly in After Effects and used in Premiere, which means that if they're built in After Effects, they can have all kinds of crazy animation, 3D effects, and all kinds of cool things possible running natively inside of the Premiere Pro timeline. So as always, we're coming to you live on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, and Behance. Got our open chat, so lovely to see you all. Hello, Desiree. Hello, Ravi. Hello, Gregory Fish. Peter Whiter, Richard Hawks. Virginia's in the building. What's up, Julia? Masalska, great to see you. Tiberius from Romania. Kevin from Gilbert, how's it going? And Denise DePrima. Hello. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in. And I just want to mention again, so I'll periodically maybe check back because this is a fairly short stream today, but save the questions till a little bit later. All right. Till I get through kind of the first section here. So because we got 4 chats going, I like to kind of keep them separated. Okay. So let's go ahead and switch over to my screen. And we're going to pick up from some content that I was working on last week. Where we were doing Automate the Timeline. So this is a piece shot in South Africa by yours truly some time ago. And let's just take a look kind of at a couple of the clips right here, just as it is right now. Nice little sunrise shot here. Okay, so this was something, again, that we had worked on last week, automating all that to cut on the beat. Real simple stuff, and I showed you how to do that. All right, so what I want to do is add a little animated title just to kind of tell people who are watching this what they're looking at. So to do that, we're going to go into our graphics workspace in Premiere Pro, which will immediately give us access to Adobe Stock. Now, of course, I'm in a slightly modified version of the workspace just to kind of configure my UI for the stream. You can access that at the workspace bar at the top of Premiere Pro. If you don't see that, you can also go to the workspaces menu up here where you will see graphics. And on the docked along the right-hand side, this will pull up the Essential Graphics panel. Now, there's sort of 4 main toggles or modes and things that you need to be aware of here. I believe the default is that it'll start in My Templates. Now, you have a certain number of these that are pre-installed with Premiere Pro, and you can kind of see some of them here. In fact, a lot of these that you're seeing are similar or the same ones that you'll find in Adobe Premiere Rush. So it's a lot of social callouts, some very basic but stylish lower thirds and just little animated sort of titles that kind of fly in and out. Most of these created on the Premiere Pro side, so they're very lean. They're not going to be GPU intensive. They're not using 3D objects or moving lights or, revealing ink parameters on the screen or particles. So that's kind of the key, is that these are going to be super light. You've got quite a few of them pre-installed, some of which do have some of those After Effects elements. And that's where you'll see it under My Templates. Now, of course, with motion graphics templates, these can be saved locally. So you can actually save them onto a disk as a .mogrt, M-O-G-R-T file, or you can save them directly to libraries, which is typically what I do. Because what's great about that is if I log into someone else's machine in an install of Premiere, if I've saved them to libraries, those motion graphics templates will always be available to me. So like if I'm shooting, sort of on the road, which I do a lot, got my laptop or someone else's system that I just want to do a quick edit on and export to an Instagram story or to YouTube, as long as I'm logged in, CC Libraries is here. I'll see any of those motion graphics that I've saved to a particular library. All right, so you've got your My Templates button here, and then you have the Adobe Stock button. And as you imagine, this is now allowing you to search right inside of the Essential Graphics panel for motion graphics templates on Adobe Stock. And you can see down below here, we have a number of pages of these. Now, I'm also looking at some of the free ones. I love that we've done this. So we have free and premium. I typically just look at the free ones, unless I don't find what I need, and then I'll go to premium to see if it's something that I do want, and then in which case I'll purchase. So you've got lots and lots of free ones here. And then you have a search bar so you can search on specific elements of motion graphics templates. So just to kind of scroll through some of these here, I mean, these are all new. I haven't been in here in a while. First and foremost, as you hover over them inside of this panel. Now, again, depending upon how they were created, where they were created, it may take a second to cache the animation. But you can see that as I'm scrubbing my mouse over this, it's actually playing back what these motion graphics templates look like. And you'll see that there's a little info button and then a license and download button. If you go ahead and click on info, this takes us into the info dialog, tells us the name, tells us the price, in this case it's free, tells us the duration of the animation, the file size, again, super small, super lean, and the font that's required. Now, what's awesome about this, again, if your motion graphics templates, and assuming the ones that we're selling on Adobe Stock should all technically leverage Adobe fonts, formerly Typekit, even if you don't have Ubuntu Bold installed, when you download and license this motion graphics template, it will automatically synchronize that font from Adobe Fonts for you. And there'll be a little pop-up that says it's doing that. So these things will always display properly, easily, whenever you access them, wherever you access them. And then it gives you a couple of details here about it, the actual size of the template, things that you can change, font selection, for instance, effects controls, and it's telling you this is just sample text. Of course, you can change that, and then a whole bunch of keywords here. All right. So again, you can kind of scroll through until you find specific things that you want. If I wanted to look for, say, just lower thirds, I could type lower third in the search bar here, at which point it's going to go out and scan and find and start locating lower thirds. All right. And this kind of gives you an idea of what some of these look like. By the way, there's also a little zoom, a preview zoom at the bottom of the window here. So if you want to get a better look, it's kind of sometimes hard to see what these things look like. Now, again, this is going to be based on how narrow you have the panel docked in view. But as I'm kind of moving through these, again, I can click on something like this one here. And again, it often takes just a few seconds for that to cache. You can see that it just did. So as I hover over this, this is kind of showing you what that animation looks like. Frankly, this looks like a very simple one created in Premiere. We've got some video playing behind what looks like a masked ellipse with some text that's kind of flying. Oh, maybe that is After Effects. Text that's flying on, and then a couple lines of text here. So real simple, real nice. Again, free, 6 seconds. This uses 2 different fonts. All right. Optimized for Premiere kind of shows you some of the things you can do. A lower third with bold text, glossy reflection, and a realistic falling drain drop element. Okay, cool, whatever. Drain drop? Did I just say that? Raindrop. All right. So again, a lot of flexibility here in finding the right thing that you want. Let's go back to our just free general ones here. And what I wanted to do is just create first a really simple title. All right. So I'm scrolling through here. It looks like we're still showcasing. You can tell we just ended the new year and started because we've got some holiday ones here. It's like New Year's confetti. It's a Happy Hanukkah title right here. All right. And maybe go for something like this. All right. I looked at this one just before I got on stream. This is kind of cool. This also looks very, very modern and timely. All right. If you take a look at this here, and this is real simple. And it even tells you in this little animated description, insert your title, change colors, change your text. That's what this one looks like. It's real simple. So again, to download it, I just click on the download icon here. This is telling me it's League Gothic Regular. I've already got that font installed. How do I know that? I don't see the little exclamation mark here. If I didn't have it installed, it would already do it for me. And then to begin using this, once it's downloaded, I'm simply going to take it, click and drag down into my Premiere Pro timeline like that. It'll load the template. And here, I'll drop the music a little bit more. We don't need this quite so loud for right now. And go ahead and play this. All right. And this is what it looks like. And it animates off. All right. Real clean, real simple, real nice. Now again, if I click on the title, okay, this now gives me access to the editing section. All right. And you can see that this is as simple as it gets. It is no more than 2 simple lines of animated text. And this one was created in Premiere. How do I know that? Well, first and foremost, because the animation that we're seeing looks like it's just position and opacity, right? So it fades out as it flies off screen, very indicative of a Premiere animated title. But the other thing that I noticed when I looked at the motion graphics template were these little highlighted in white sections. And these are responsive design indicators. Yes. So there's 2 flavors that you can leverage for responsive design with motion graphics templates, and you'll find this in many of the ones that you download. The first is responsive design time, which you'll find here in Essential Graphics. And what this does is this allows you to create animation inside of a specific time range. So in this case, the intro, the duration of the animation for that text to fly on screen is approximately 23 frames. And then the outro duration of it flying off the screen is also 23 frames. And when you implement responsive design time, now obviously this is still editable here, what that means is I can make this template super short. So let's say that I want this to fly off screen right at the cut right there. Okay? I can drag this in so it ends right there at the cut. And notice that the duration does not change, right? So that's the nature of how responsive design time works. Animation that exists in those 23 frames at the beginning and the end will never change, right? I can squeeze this as far in as I can go, as it'll let me, and those animations will always be the same duration. I can make it super long. Again, it's still 23 frames at the end, 23 frames at the beginning. All right, so this is great because this allows me to very easily and effectively create an animation for a specific amount of time and keep that animation preserved always. So let's take a look at it now. All right, flies on, flies off, next cut. Nice, clean, simple. All right, so editing. Let's click on the motion graphics template. Again, we've got 2 text layers. So let's go to the title here. Let's double click on the text. And we'll call this South Africa. Okay, that's line 2. Now, for the first line, we've got this number here. I don't know if we need a number. Maybe we're going to show this over a period of days. So I can, again, select the text here. And we will call this Day 1 South Africa. All right, something like that. Okay. Now, right away, obviously, that's not where I want day 1. It's off screen. That was designed to be a sort of numeric value there. So this is where the editability of these things is really simple. And again, if you know how to do any kind of basic work in Premiere's effects controls with animating position, scale, rotation, it's exactly the same for Premiere created motion graphics templates. It works exactly the same. So we'll come over to the effects controls. All right, and you'll see the same 2 text layers here, South Africa, and now day 1, because we changed the text, right? All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to slide day 1 over a little bit. So let's twirl down the day 1 text. Now you're going to see all the same text parameters, appearance, master styles. Everything that you see over there is still accessible here under source text. Let's twirl that up and let's go to transform. And you'll see that this one, the only animation that's existing in that 23 frame range is opacity. So we need to just move the position over. So I'll come over here to our position and let's drag it right about there, okay? So that's fine, except now that South Africa is on top of day 1, and we don't want that either. Let's twirl this up, go to South Africa, twirl up our source text. Sorry for that little bit of snot right there. And now I can see that the South Africa text has 2 bits of animation. It's got position animation, which you can see here, and it also has opacity animation, all right? So naturally, the first thing I need to do right here is move that final resting spot to around, let's say, 880, right about there, maybe even a little bit more, 883, something like that, okay? And I'm going to get rid of that other keyframe. Now I'm going to momentarily get rid of the other ones at the end. Those are the position ones, all right? So let's just see if this is flying in properly now. All right. Oh, that's the right. I deleted the wrong keyframe. Duh. Let's do this again. All right. Let's make sure I've got the right one. All right. Let's get rid of this. Drag this in over here. Okay. Like that. That. Okay. All right. Still not quite over enough. That's okay. All right. And then what I'll show you is when you get back to here, now what we'll do is I'll just set another keyframe so it can begin flying off. Whoops. So it can begin flying off screen. I made that shorter. My bad. And we'll just move it like this right off the frame. Okay. So we drag it in. Still got to move that a little bit and it flies off. Now I've done a better one for you here. Let's go ahead and pull this one up. A little temporal interpolation. All right. And slide it off screen like that. Okay. Now again, if I wanted this to happen at that same cut right there, I could do that. I kind of like the pink color on this. If I don't like the pink color, that's on the day 1 text. I could come up to my fill under appearance here. Maybe I want it to match the color of that sunrise. Go ahead and take our eyedropper, which interestingly is, I don't know what that's doing exactly. Why is that not letting me take a color sample? There we go. That's a little UI weirdness right there. Okay. Click the eyedropper, click on our sun. You can see it's changing. Now it's kind of like a nice orange amber color. Kind of looks like the sun. Kind of works with what we're doing. All right, we definitely want that to fade out sooner. So again, I can shrink this up. It'll respect responsive time. Like that. And it flies out. All right. Really simple, really easy. And if we wanted to duplicate this and use another version of that somewhere else, in fact, we've already got the one right here, right? Let's go to something like one of these cuts. Let's say we want to reuse this one, something like South Africa, you know, at night. All right. So I'm going to come over here. Let's change this text to night. All right. Get rid of these keyframes. Get rid of this keyframe. Let's drag it in like that. 883. All right. So it drags in. Come over to here. Set a keyframe. Come over to there. And drag the animation off screen. And while it's doing that, again, the opacity is being affected as well. All right. So let's take a look. All right, maybe want that to last a little longer for a couple of these cuts. okay? Really simple, okay? Now these are very, very simple templates. So let's look at something maybe a little bit more complex, or just different in style, all right? So this one here, kind of a very timely, modern look, flying in and off screen. Again, this one uses Montserrat thin, so I don't have that. Let's go ahead and download this one here, which you can also do from this button, license and download. It'll do just that. Now, traditionally, we've told you that when you do that and you don't have the font installed, best to like save the project, close the project, and just open it back up again for maximum guaranteed displayability. Let's see how it does. So I'm going to mute this track. Let's bring this in. Bring this right at the top here. All right. Let's see if it's displaying properly. Oh, it looks like it's displaying just fine. Okay. Very cool. All right. You will also notice that this one too also has responsive design time implemented. So the animation here is happening over a specified duration, and the animation out happening over a specified duration. Okay. So let's click on this to see what we can edit here. So you've got new text layer, which curiously is on sort of in a box. So we can call this day 1. South Africa. All right. Just kind of keeping with how this is designed. Now, I'm noticing here, as I'm taking a look, because this has different backgrounds, right? It's changing colors as it kind of flies on and off screen. You'll notice that this one also has responsive design positioning, meaning that it will always pin this text block to the top middle position of this main background layer, okay? So not only does it have the design time, but that text is moving with that main background, and that's pinned using responsive design positioning here. Now I have another tutorial and several other live streams where we've talked about how to make these manually, just pointing out that these things are already implemented in the motion graphics template. So no matter what you type in here, that animation will always work properly. It'll always display properly, okay? Now again, if we don't love these colors, maybe this whole thing, maybe we need a little bit of like an opacity shift on this. We can certainly do that. So again, if we kind of twirl up, let's go here, and maybe we'll just change the opacity. I don't know. Maybe to like, let's make it around 70%. And I'm going to do this for all of our various layers here. All right, so twirl this back up. Let's go to the second background. We'll do opacity 70. Okay, and we'll go to first background and opacity 70. Just to let a little bit of that background kind of shine through. Something like this. I don't know that that necessarily works, but you get the idea. Again, we also have complete control over the color scheme here. So in this case, we just move it back. Right, this is our first background color here. Maybe we want to change this again. Maybe we want this to be, instead of blue, a bit more on the orange side. So we'll take this from a dark blue to maybe a darker orange, something like that. Second background, fill. Maybe mute this, something like that. Okay, and main background, fill, come into this one, and same thing, something like that. All right. That looks pretty cool. And maybe I'll even drop the opacity more on this one. Yeah, I'm thinking 30-ish Let's do it on the second one too. Drop that even a little bit more. That's kind of looking pretty cool. And then for the text, yeah, pink's not really working for me. So maybe what goes good with this orange? Teal? I don't know that that's teal, but I don't know how legible that is. Maybe that's a bad mistake. Not a designer here, but just trying things out. Yeah, okay, yeah, that text, that was a terrible idea. All right. Maybe we'll just stick with some white, all right? Or white-ish. I'll go back to pink. Maybe kind of whitish pink. That's better. All right. Certainly more legible now. All right. And again, maybe we move this right up at the top so that this kind of flies on. The sun is rising through Africa there. Okay. And it transitions ever so nicely. And those transitions, because those are also timed, you know, these will happen right as the cut happens, right? So it's kind of a neat transitional element too, all right? Again, fully editable, colors, text, all that sort of stuff. All right, so let's look for something a little more complex. Now I can scroll through, again, some of the options down here, looking to see if there's any particular cool new ones I haven't seen. All right, let's look for transitions. See what it pulls up. You can see camera flashes. So this stuff, these could be kind of cool. All right, let's see what this actually looks like. All right, that looks kind of fake, but requirements, After Effects. Okay, so this is generated in After Effects. All right, easy to change color filter, flip option. Maybe we use something like this. All right, that one's not bad. You got a lot of super cool, I love these, like these color, object color transitions. These are really cool. Again, maybe not necessarily appropriate for this. I do like this one though. These kinds of animations. They are also responsive, as you can see by the description here. And kind of a cool way to transition between shots or between elements. These are all free, by the way. We're still looking at the free ones. All right. And yeah, there's some other ones. Natural Instincts transition. What is this? Apparently I already have this licensed too. Oh, so it has like a water droplet effect. Very interesting. All right. So this is just kind of showing you some of the things that you can do here. Now, if we get out of free, all right, and now we're searching everything, you're obviously going to see a lot more options. Okay. Oh, here's cool. 2D splash transitions. What's this? Oh, neat. Yeah, these are like very artistic. Oh, I like that. Okay. Now, this is a premium one. You have to pay for this. There's 9 different styles. Ooh, but that's really cool. Oh, I really like that. So it shows you here 9 different styles, custom color controls, effects controls. All right. You could do some really neat things with these. All right. Again, we've got 50 pages of stuff. Clean splats transition. I mean, there's just so many neat things. Oh, this is made by my my friend Valentina V. All right. And sometimes just having these transitional elements, whether it's for titles or cutting between shots, is like it's all you need. All right. So let's grab this one. I like this one. I'll grab another free one. It's got some neat animation. Oh, and I've got the lens flare too. Oh no, I don't. That's just showing me it's paid. Okay. So let's drag this transition one in here. Something like this. Okay. It's going to take a moment to load that. Scrub over to it. All right. And again, as you scroll through these or scrub over them, if they have some animation coming from After Effects, generated in After Effects, just like in After Effects, as you scrub the comp, the timeline, the composition, it'll cache those frames in playback in real time. Same thing happens here. In fact, we've got that playback engine in Premiere. So I can tell that this one was generated in After Effects because of how the editing fields look, the fact that it's broken down into sections. These are all things that you can do in design in After Effects to edit and modify motion graphics templates. You will notice this is After Effects generated, which means that if I look at the effects controls, it's a little bit different. I still have access to those things. It's just now under graphics parameters, okay? So it's a little bit different. You can do your changes over here, or you can do your changes over here. We still give you access in both places, all right? So first of all, we'll change the text. Say from day to night. I'll adjust the text size so that it fits on screen, okay? Got text up and down, so she kept this one real simple, all right? Accent color, all right, now again, we don't want that particular color, so maybe we'll go to that orange, earthy orange again. Something like that. Okay. Accent color opacity, so it doesn't have to be full on. Maybe a little bit more subtle. And then there are actually 3 shape styles. So we've got triangles. Ooh, circles, I like that. And squares. All right, so let's take a look at the circles. Now again, because I just did those changes, I'm going to scrub over this. It'll cache those frames. So now when I play this back, all right, maybe we'll show that right here. Oh, whoops. We want that to happen here when it actually changes from day to night over these 2 clips like this. All right. Now, stylistically, that might not be what you had in mind. The whole idea is that you can customize and mess about with these things and use multiple ones and make them your own, right? Or find another one that does it for you, okay? So really quickly, really simply, just added a couple of cool little animated transitional elements, all right? I do really like the way that that kind of fills in the screen too. There's something pretty cool about that, all right? And again, you have more control here over the accent color opacity. If it's just still too much, we can drop it down even more, right? Maybe 35%, right? And again, scrub through this, cache all those frames, right? It's still caching those frames, right? To get in full. By the way, we're also in full quality here, all right? So if all pixels displayed, there we go, all right? Really simple, really easy. And again, if you want to make your own motion graphics templates, you can do that. It's as simple as going up to your text tool right here in your tools panel, and you just start typing on screen. Leopard, all right? And what am I doing? I'm actually creating the beginnings of a motion graphics template, all right? I can align and transform this. I can hold down Shift to constrain our movement here if we want to do that. All right, very easily, like this. Again, I can change my font in here if I wanted to do that. I can change my colors. I can add a bounding box around this if that's something that I wanted to do. Go back to that orange color, something like that. Adjust the size of the box and adjust the opacity of the box. All right. If I wanted to do that, I'm not saying that's a great idea, but you get the idea. It's just something that you can do, okay? And this is the beginnings of a motion graphics template. I can add additional shapes. I can add video in here. I can add additional text or vertical text. And then if I desire and I want to keep this and use this over and over again, I can come up to the graphics menu and export that as a motion graphics template. And when I do that, this is where it says, okay, where do you want it to go? Well, you can place it in the local templates folder, which is going to be saved with this particular install of Premiere. More than likely, though, Maybe you want to put it on a local drive so that you can save this .mogrt file, and then you have the freedom of importing it on any installation of Premiere for anybody. Or you can save it to one of your CC libraries, individual or shared libraries, which means that if you're collabing with someone, they have access. Like, here's my buddy Terry White. We have a shared library together. If I save it in here, he might be sitting at his desk right now. Maybe he's in Premiere, maybe not. When he launches Premiere or goes into Adobe Stock, he's going to see that that template is already there waiting for him. All right. So we won't save this one in all of its brilliance, but you get the idea. All right. Cool. Okay, let's bounce over to some questions now. See if anybody's got them, and if not, I'm going to send you on your way and get some lunch for myself. Okay. Amy Schiavo, what's happening? Greg from London. Paolo, how are you doing? Claudia from Romania. Michelle, nice to see you. Harima, okay. Chewy, what's up, Terry? Just gave you a shout. You might be off the stream already. Okay. Hey, Jason, hello from the Philippines. Why not use Anchor Point? Yes, you can absolutely use Anchor Point. Again, any of the animation that you see there in the effects controls, you can use. I was just editing what they already had designed, so whatever it is, you can change any of those things any way that you want. Okay. Samantha Castroletti. Lately, while working with MOGRTs and any motion graphics on my timeline, I've been getting a weird audio glitch where it quickly scrubs through audio and messes it up. Any idea what could be up? I don't know. I can't say I've heard about that one, Samantha. Something that is worth keeping in mind, particularly if you've got motion graphics or, again, any sort of dynamically linked content coming in. I'll just show this to you real quickly. It could be something as simple, or as maybe not simple, as adjusting audio buffer settings. So if it's getting like glitchy, your sound device may not have enough time to catch up with the scrubbing. So there's two things you can do to prevent that. First and foremost, and let me see, is it in general or is it under audio? So I actually have the play audio on while scrubbing. If you want to avoid that problem as you're scrubbing through, you can also disable playing the audio while scrubbing. Again, if you're not doing like audio checks, if it's more about just lining up your motion graphics with the video, you don't necessarily need to hear it. And if you're using an internal sound device, I actually find that performance in general, having that unchecked, is sometimes better. If you like having it on and you want it on, by all means leave it on. But that's something to try. That'll certainly prevent that from happening. So when you go into playback, it has enough buffer time so that you hear the sound properly. The other thing that you can do under audio hardware is adjust your buffer size. Again, based on the sound device that you have. I have a Focusrite device in here. I think our default is 512, which really should be enough. If it's not, and it's glitching, you can try upping that. I wouldn't go too high, because also when you have too large of a buffer, it just takes that much longer when you actually hit play for the sound to kick in general. So it's kind of a balance that you have to strike up here, but you could try adjusting buffer size. And again, in lieu of that, I might turn off the audio while scrubbing when working with motion graphics. Even as I was doing it here, I mean, the audio is inconsequential to the graphic here, so that starts getting annoying to me, and I eventually just mute it. But if you're having this weird dropout thing, it might be worth trying to do that instead. Okay, great question. All right, Jay Sison said it happens to me too. Oh, interesting. Okay, Ramez, how you doing? All right. Jonathan Bates, not a designer. Looks nice. Ah, well, thank you very much. I am not a designer though. All right. Yeah, Samantha. So again, I would try that and see how it works. Okay. Brian Whitaker, really cool feature. Nice. All right. Thank you. Jonathan Bays. How do you become a wizard? Listen to Uriah Heep, The Wizard, circa 1972. Or watch Harry Potter. Sue Spielman, thanks for all the tips. Just in time for an underwater video. Oh, sweet. I love your avatar. Very nice. Chris Pendy, can you add modifiers to MOGRTs? Can you make them have more effects? Absolutely. And you can even, there's a couple of things that you can do here. You can augment them with Premiere Pro effects. You can augment them with After Effects effects. Now, The key is you probably want to use native ones because those will always carry over, right? If you create something, hand it over to someone else, and it's a native effect, it'll be able to work. If you use a third-party one and you hand it over to someone else, there's a good chance it won't work unless they have that effect installed. Now, you see, you're talking about augmenting existing ones. So that's a good question. I don't see why not, but I imagine it's going to depend on where they were created. So in the case of After Effects, all right, an After Effects generated MOGRT, let me switch my screen over. Because you have this separate effects editing section here up at the top, right? So this was built in After Effects. You can add effects to this in Premiere, as you would with a Premiere generated one. I'll show you what I mean. So if you wanted to do that, you would need to open this up in After Effects. How do you open up this motion graphics template? Well, you would save it locally so you can access the MOGRT. And then you actually go to the Open Project option in After Effects, and it will extract all the elements of this motion graphics template. You can modify it, and then you have to save a new one. Well, you could save it over top of itself, theoretically, but I recommend saving a new one. So you can augment an existing motion graphics template. If you're working with Premiere generated ones, okay, so where were those other ones we were doing before? Here, this one. Okay, let's say I wanted to do some kind of, I don't know, what am I thinking? I don't know. Where are my effects, by the way? Oh, they're down here. Okay. Like a blur or something. Can we add these? It's been a while since I've done these, so let's see. Can we add these to the text right here? Yes, we can. Okay. So here I've added a directional blur, which will happen solely to the day one text, okay? So maybe we start, let's do our blur here. Like that. I'm gonna set a keyframe on that. And then right before that gets into position, no blur, and you see it automatically generated the keyframe here. So in this one, I just did a little directional blur, all right, and edited right inside the template as it is. So I didn't have to go anywhere because this was generated in Premiere. And I know that because I can see when I go to edit it, it's showing me the same layer panel as if I want, you know, if I wanted to add my own text to this, I can continue to augment this in the layers panel as well. So the key is, yes, they're always editable. You can add effects. If they're Premiere created, we also know this is Premiere created because we're seeing our responsive design time indicators here. You can drop the effects right to the appropriate layer and they'll affect it accordingly. If you want to do it for After Effects, you need to open them in After Effects by saving them locally and then opening them as a project. All right. That was a great question. All right, let's go over to YouTube here. Wow, a lot of commentary on YouTube today. Wow. What is up? Sifrifana, hi. How are you doing? South different color and Africa different color. See, that's all very good designer info. I need to know that. Solo Design Studio, how are you? What is the price? Sifrifana asks. I believe these are all $19.99 US. You will have to, don't quote me on that, but here, wait, I can check real quickly. Because if I, hold on, I'm trying to remember to see the price. Okay, so here's, let me just show you. You only need to do this once. I think they're $19.99. I thought we could access the web. I guess you can't. No, you can't go to the web from here. You can't do it from here either. I thought you could. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Libraries panel. So the Libraries panel also allows you to search for things like motion graphics templates, except we just don't have a beautiful Adobe Stock button in there, although it's built into Libraries. So let's say, again, we're looking at transitions and we want templates, all right? So now we're inside the libraries panel and I'm looking at all the same. In fact, if I probably go back to page 1, yeah, it's all the same stuff. You can see it's shown in the same order and everything, all right? The difference is that if I double click on one of those, it takes me to the Adobe Stock site. Oh, and it just bounced me out of it. That's weird. And we'll show you the price. So here's a premium one. Okay. Why is it doing that? Oh, God. Why is it doing that now? Did that break? It displays it, and then it goes back to the main stock page. Okay. Spend all day doing this. Let's just look. All right. Oh, and because I have credits, it's showing it to me in credits. Well, what is that in dollars? Can I show it in money? I'm failing you. I'm sorry. I don't know. I believe it's $19.99. I'm pretty sure that's the price. This is interesting that it's not staying on the page, though. That's definitely a bug. So that's one I'm going to report right after this. And that's why we do these streams. For me to find things and report to the team. They're probably getting sick of hearing from me about this. All right. But that's a great question. Peter Whiter, how do we get our material into stock? Ah, that's another great question. Okay, so that has changed a little bit. It's now easier than before to submit them. However, there's still a process for doing that. So here, let me see. I think I have. I'm going to post this in the chat. I may have to post this after the fact. Hold on. Contributor, portfolio, no. My stock. How to... I can't seem to find the bookmark. Okay, there is a direct link. I will tell you what, if you hit me up on Twitter, I can send you a link to a document that tells you how to submit them for Adobe Stock. There's probably a link right on the stock site. It's just I'm struggling to find it right now. Sell. Do you just go to sell? Let's see. Hold on. Let's navigate this together. It should be fun. All right. Oh no, that just goes to your account. You know, I wonder if you can just go to the sell tab if you're logged in. And if it now just recognizes motion graphics templates. I'll be honest, I don't make them for sale because I'm not good at making them. So, but hit me up on Twitter. I can send you another link with some information about just best practices for how to create them. But you might just try going to your seller account and seeing if you can just upload MOGRTs. In fact, if I type MOGRT here, contributor submission guide. Okay, hold on. I'm looking right now. Let me switch over my screen so you can see it. Content ownership. Okay, this doesn't tell us anything. Yeah, this isn't what I need to know. No, that's not it. Okay. All right. I need to find out. I used to have this bookmarked. I don't have it bookmarked anymore. I will find out for you. And if you just go to upload, it doesn't have motion graphics templates in the upload. So there's a separate path for doing that. All right. We need to make that a little bit easier too. Okay. Possible to have a video about the workflow. Maybe you have some consoles to win some time when you have a lot of rushes. Adrian, am I missing the first part of your comment? I'm not sure. It seems like it's out of context. Denise DePrima. So yes, you can export from After Effects. As mentioned, it's the same process. You're going to go into the Essential Graphics panel, and from the Essential Graphics panel, there is a function to export as motion graphics template. All right. And Kevin's asking, can you save an edited one to use again, such as from Adobe Stock or third-party stock? Yes, absolutely. So that's where you save local, right? So you just have that .mogrt file. It doesn't need to be contained in the library, although you could put it in the library. Laura Alsheri, hello. All right, back to Facebook. Kurt, are there any other comprehensive lessons on the Adobe site regarding customizing the templates in AE? Yes, there are. And in fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, which I'll post here on Facebook, since that's where that question just came from, I have a whole series called, oh, no, I don't want to end it. What? Called How to Make Great Videos. And they're broken down by editing, motion graphics, and sound. There's a whole, there's 3 or 4 hour-long videos, which I believe are also chapterized, which show you how to author these in After Effects. So if you're looking for a quick way to do that, again, the chapterization in the description of the YouTube video helps because you can just skip to the stuff you want to know. It's really, really useful. All right. Super cool. Okay. Elias, hey, I want to know how green screen templates work. So if you made a template with a green screen, I mean, I don't know why you'd make a template with the green screen necessarily, but if there's green that you're trying to key out, you can use something like the Ultra Keyer in Premiere, which is our effect, which will automatically key out the green, and then you'd have text or images flying on top. But again, if you build them in Premiere or After Effects, it already assumes that there's an alpha channel that is being overlaid. So you don't have to do a green screen, but you can do it that way, I suppose, if you wanted to. All right. Kevin, can you explain briefly the export as motion graphics dialog options for comparability? Are you talking about, hold on. You meant compatibility. I'm assuming that's what you meant. So this stuff here. Okay. So yes. So here's what this is about. So this actually speaks to something I was saying before. So let's say you create a template that uses Futura, my favorite font, and I share this with someone and they don't have Futura installed. So the first checkbox here is warn me if this MOGRT uses fonts that are not available on Adobe Fonts. Now Futura is. If it's not, you can just have a dialog pop up that tells you that. Now this is what I said at the very beginning. It's really a good idea to use Adobe Fonts. There are over 17,000 of them, because then it ensures that no matter who uses this on whatever system, they'll be able to synchronize that font and have it displayed correctly. So if you use third-party ones, you're just alerting the user that, hey, it'll display properly, but if you need to make a change to that text, we can't reauthor it because the font isn't on your system. So we'll default to whatever the main system font is. All right, so you can have a warning for that. This is all just about warnings here. So warn me if this template uses effects not included. Same thing. I talked about this just moments ago, right? You can build templates that have After Effects plugins or Premiere plugins. If you're using them with by yourself on your own system, not an issue. If you're sharing them, and I don't have, you know, Particle Playground for After Effects, but your MOGRT does, this is telling me, hey, you don't have Particle Playground, something is not going to display properly. Or if you edit it, it's not going to display properly. So that's what that is. And then the last one here is warn me if this template is not compatible with Premiere Rush. And that's specific to After Effects generated templates. So all of your Premiere generated ones will work properly. And this is really only if you're going to be using these and sharing these with people who are working in Rush, particularly on mobile, and they try and grab, you know, something like this template here, which has tons of light and camera moves. It doesn't play in Rush. So it would just alert them that, hey, this isn't going to work in Rush. That's all. All right. Actually pretty good info dialogues. Something that we don't often do quite as well as I'd like, but those are really, really well done. Murat, hello. Juan Jose, Palm Springs, what's up? Chris, that was the answer you needed. Thank you. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right. We have so many questions today. Okay. See people replying to each other. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's see more on YouTube. Okay. Well, looks like the chat there is kind of slowed down. And that's that there. Okay, any on Periscope? Okay, no comments on Periscope. All right, but a lot of people watching on Periscope. Okay. Well, everyone, hey, this stream was a lot longer than I anticipated, but there were so many great questions. Thank you so much for asking. You will, of course, be able to watch the replays on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter Periscope, and on Behance, no matter which of those platforms you prefer, all in glorious 1080p. And I'll be back tomorrow with another stream, and then on Thursday, my collaboration stream with Carl Soule talking about Hollywood and TV workflows. And then on Friday, on Behance and the Adobe Creative Cloud channel on YouTube, my video audio masterclass, where this Friday we'll be featuring a special masterclass on working in Premiere Rush. And specifically, we're going to have a Premiere Rush challenge where you will be tasked with creating a YouTube channel trailer. There's going to be some giveaways, some prizes available to you. So you'll be sure to stick around and watch that. That's going to be Friday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time on behance.net/live or on the Adobe Creative Cloud YouTube channel. Excuse me. So until then, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you again next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.